our kids' houses. The top two are currently occupied. We have two full-time house mamas, Mama Selena and Mama Tembisa. The third house is ready to be filled with children. They've been interviewing for more full-time house parents. There was a team from Muscatine, Iowa there a few weeks ago, and when they went on a hospital visit, there were 5 abandoned babies in the hospital, and so Brian and Lois, the missionaries on the field, have been working with the social workers there to try and take all 5 babies and turn house number 3 into a baby house, which would be a brand new undertaking, something they haven't ever done before. It would require lots of staff and training and lots of money. So far, God has brought one of the babies to them, and so that little guy is staying with Mama Selena. He didn't have a name when he came. He'd been found. His mom had just abandoned him in a field, and so he didn't have paperwork or anything. And actually, Lois sent me an email a couple weeks ago that said they all met at Bible study one night, all the mamas and all the little kids, to name the baby. Kamo, the pogo stick guy, the guy that was just singing his heart out at the end there, wanted to name him Jimmy. And all the little kids wanted to name him Turbo. And that got vetoed by the teenage girls in the house mamas, and they named him Sibusiso, which means blessing. So that was kind of fun, but they all got to help out with that. So one of the other babies that they had met in the hospital a day is gone, either in another foster care home or been placed up for adoption. So there's still 3 left. Lord willing, they'll know sometime this week if they're going to get all those babies, and so they can start getting cribs and all the stuff that babies require, or if that doesn't happen, they'll be ready to start taking other children. So the house that has kind of the stripy roof on it, if you can see that, we use that as a homework room. It will eventually be a kid's house someday, but for now it's just big empty inside. We use it for homework after school, games, toys, books, all that kind of stuff. It's just much easier and more convenient than having it where we were before, which is on the other side of the property. So all 4 kids' houses are down there. This is Brian and Lois Niehaus' house. You can kind of see this tiny little blue blob in the corner of the box. That's our swimming pool, which you got to see in the video, which is a really big blessing. This is the team housing. So there's a big room that serves as a kitchen and a living room area for teams when they come. And then there's attached to like a covered outdoor patio seating type of thing. And then a little bit farther yet, the second building is, we call it the bunkhouse. It's divided in half. 4 people sleep on one side, 4 on the other, and each side has their own bathroom. So that can accommodate teams when they come. And that is my house, which was not really totally there when I first arrived, but lots of you gave money toward building that house, and so I'm going to show you some pictures of that now. When I got there, there were walls and a foundation, but no roof, nothing really else finished. A team from Muscatine, Iowa came 2 weeks after I arrived, and they helped put a roof on and helped with some of the interior walls. Brian and Louis finished the inside. We had a couple other volunteers kind of coming in and out to finish that stuff. They put in the kitchen cabinets, and I arrived in April, and the first part of August, my roommate Jess and I got to move in, which we were very excited about. Jess and I hadn't known each other before moving there. She's actually from West Des Moines, but we had been living as 2 strangers in a tiny one-room house up to that point, and so we were really thankful to be moving into a house with own bedrooms and space, and that was really good, really nice, a really big blessing. It was really good for our relationship too, and we were very happy to move in there. I had a really hard time narrowing down what to share with you tonight because I did a lot of different things this year, and I'll share a list with you later on. But the Lord really just gave me 3 ministries to share with you and kind of go into a little bit more detail. And so this isn't an exhaustive list by any means, but these are some things that I spent a lot of time on and that are, can't talk with my hands, that are near and dear to my heart. The first of which is this beautiful little girl you see here, Ateham. She arrived at Restoring Hope Village one day before I did, and when she got there, she was just about 9 years old, and she weighed 26 pounds. For you moms out there, she was wearing size 2T clothing. That means something to you. She was emaciated and sick. Her parents had passed away. She says her dad died in a car accident, and we believe her mom passed away because of HIV and AIDS. She was put into the care of a granny who was very old and not well physically, and who also had an extensive gambling addiction. So she quickly gambled away all of the money that was left for Ateham. And Ateham tells me now that when there was food in the house, the granny told her, no, that food's not for you, that's for me. And so she wasn't fed. She quit going to school. Ateham's also sick, and so the granny had defaulted on her ARV medication multiple times, which is very dangerous because the virus mutates, and so once you quit taking your medication, you can't take that anymore, and there's only so much farther up the pyramid you can go for mixes of drugs and things like that. So she had no immune system, and she was going to die. So she arrived at the village one day before me. So she was the first little person that I met, and I can remember the first day being there and just sitting with her on the swing and cuddling her. And she didn't speak really any English. You saw her singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" up there when we were in the hospital. She'd been to a preschool, and so she'd learned some songs in English, but we couldn't communicate with each other verbally anyway. After being at the village maybe a week, she had to go back into the hospital because she was really sick, and so learning to drive happened really quickly for me. Thankfully, my dad made me learn how to drive a stick shift really early on, which, yes, Dad, you were right.
As usual.
And so, thankfully, I was only learning to drive on the other side of the car and not just also trying to learn a manual as well. So it actually wasn't too bad. Navigating, I wasn't very great at, but I'm not good at that here, so I didn't anticipate that changing. But Brian took me out driving one time, and then after that, I was set out on my own, and it just became my job to go to the hospital every day to see Ateham. With the government hospital system, if you want the child to be bathed, if you want them to be able to go to the bathroom, if you want them to have clean clothes, any of those things, you have to be there to do it yourself. And so I had a crash course very quickly in that. I learned to become bold and confident very quickly also. I just spent a lot of time with her there and tried to sneak and look in her file and find out what was actually going on, because communication is abysmal when you're working with a government hospital. And if you're lucky enough to be there when doctors happen to come by, and maybe they'll stop and talk to you, maybe, but normally they talk to each other like you're not there and then just keep on going. So you really don't ever have any idea of what's going on. And the nurses, they call sisters, they don't really know anything either. So often I don't know if I should say this. Yeah, you're not supposed to look at their file. I don't really know why, because it's your kid, but I would look at her file and see, okay, what test did they give her? What were the results of that? Because otherwise you don't find any of that out. So again, God gave me grace to know what decision to make in what situation. And she was in the hospital for maybe 10 days. And then we got to bring her back home and have a big birthday party for her because she had turned 9. So that was really exciting.